All right, we back. We got a response from Calicoe. Looks like he's discussing both the situations around Clean Papers battle not happening at his event, as well as Nujersey Twork. We're gonna play both clips. I'm gonna give y'all some reaction in between. And I kind of expected to see a Calicoe video. He already tweeted days ago that he was going to address this, but the Clean Paper interview as well. You know, like Clean Papers, yeah. I mean, I don't want to throw nobody under the bus and Cal the homie and all that, but people throw me on the bus. So fuck it, Uncle Rod, let's talk. Like, so Calicoe, he wants to defend his brand, his company, his business. So I expected to see him with a video as well. You know what I mean? So we're gonna check both of these clips out, see what's going on. And then after this, make sure y'all head over to the other channel. I'm gonna do a video on Big Bank sitting down and doing an interview with 6ix9ine. I got a little spin to that. You know, I'm gonna answer whether I think he should have or he shouldn't have done that interview, and I'm gonna play some clips of 6ix9ine kicking his ass. All right, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel about some of those back and forths. But all right, Cal, it's on you. Let's get to this. Let's see what's going on. You know, battle rap news, battle rap politics, battle rap current state, and all that. You know, we all monitoring what's going on. And let's do the RBE take.
You know what I'm saying? And with Twerk, I don't know what happened. Like I did everything I could do. I sent him a deposit, a nice deposit. It wasn't no, it was what he asked me for. You know what I'm saying? I actually had Twerk. I actually called to book Twerk, and he was like, "All right, bet. Don't even send me no deposit. Just pay me this, and don't send me a deposit." I'm like, "All right, bet. I'm gonna send you, I'm gonna give you all of your shit when you pull up." He was like, "All right, bet." The very next day he called me and was like, "Hey, T-Top got a battle the day before your shit." He like, "I ain't really in no position to turn down." He deposit ready. I'm not in no position to really turn down that deposit. So what you want to do? Like, if you don't really want to come deposit, I'm gonna have to do the T-Top event. So I said, "No, don't worry about it. You the one told me not to send you a deposit for this price. So if you want to come do the battle against Marv 1, I'll send you a deposit." He said, "All right, gang, let's do it then. I'm gonna tell T-Top I'm doing your shit. Let's do it." I sent him the deposit. A week later, I seen a flyer with him on the T-Top card.
Yeah, I was almost confused for a second because this clip right here, it started. I'm pretty sure I'm not hearing wrong. It started with him saying, "I sent Twerk a deposit," but then there's a discussion about, "Yo, I'm calling you back." You know, after the matchup is situated, I'm calling you back about T-Top, and then a deposit happens. All right, so the only way I can interpret this, people, is initially Calicoe reaches out to Twerk. "Yo, I want to put you on my card." Twerk says, "I'm down to do this number. You don't have to give me a deposit." Calicoe says, "Cool, easier for me." Twerk calls him back and says, "By the way," this later on, I guess, when T-Top calls him to book him for his event, totally separate situation. And then Twerk calls Calicoe back. And what Calicoe is saying is, Twerk says, "I'm not in a position to not take that deposit." And then he's like, "Cool, you're the one that told me that you don't want a deposit for my shit. But if you want a deposit for Marv, I guess now I'll send it to you." So the first odd thing in there is like, why is Twerk like, why would you tell Cal no deposit? Oh well, then again, it could be like negotiations too. For example, I could say, "Give me $10,000 with no deposit," or "Give me $12,000 with the deposit." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you make it work. Like, look, if you got deposit money, I'll give you a smaller total amount. If you don't have deposit money, I'm not saying that Cal don't, then we'll do it all on the back end, but I want more money because I'm not taking anything up front. So, I mean, that's just an example. Nobody knows the details of that. So that's a little odd to hear. And then also the second odd thing to hear there is Cal saying, "All right, look, fine, I'm gonna take your offer of no deposit." And then later on, Twerk calls him back, and it almost seems like the circumstances change a little bit. He says that Twerk told him, "I'm not in a position to turn down top shit," and then he then sends him a deposit for Marv. It seems like there's no contract. And if that's true, I'm just guessing based on hearing this. If that's true, all leagues, you can't do that. And Cal got to change that. Can't just call people and be like, yo, offer strength of our names and strength of us knowing battle rap. And we've been here for 10, 15, 20 years. You gotta do legitimate business. And I'm not saying that he didn't have a contract. I'm just trying to say that that's how it sounds. And the reason why it sounds like that is because you can't change things that would alter any circumstances around a battle happening or not. Or else why would Calicoe even be talking about it here? Right. So you can't just call somebody, or you shouldn't just call somebody like, yo, you want to battle on my card? Yeah, I want to battle on your card. Let's talk about some numbers. Is my date? I'm gonna holler at you. I bet I'll meet you then. You know what I'm saying? Even with the people that I'm coolest with, I'm closest to, there's a contract. There's a contract because I want to keep the business. I want if the event doesn't happen or if the battle doesn't happen for any reason, I want the last thing you're able to say is it was RBE's fault. People are still gonna try it, but I want to have as much text messages, documentation, emails, contracts, whatever to show that I did everything I was supposed to do. I want to leave you in a spot where Cal has to say in his raps like, oh no, it's what was said on the phone. It's not what's in the contract. Like, how about text messages? Why don't you rap that part? Get the fuck out of here. Nah, but all jokes aside, you gotta have contracts, people. You know, like show off is the only one, but show off still gets a deposit though. I told you that. Something that still binds us to a responsibility. Um, Ill Will, Big K, Holla, Froze, Jims, Oops, people, Big Cannon, everybody that you Math Hoffa, people that were faces of RBE at times. Oh, Red, they get contracts and they get deposits. And then another thing about the contract is very often artists, you know, circumstances will change within their lives, and it doesn't involve you. It'll be like, yo, can I get a little bit more of my deposit? Now, contractually, maybe I'll do that or maybe I won't. But regardless whether I do or I don't, contractually, we still have an agreement. Anything that I change is more so like a favor, you know. And there's been many times where I've done that favors, and there's also been times where I said, nah, I can't do it. You know what I mean? So, and then also, you can't come to me later with a circumstance of like, let's say a deposit or another platform that can supersede what I did because I already have a contract with you. And the contract even says other things like you can't take a battle. You can't have this booking that pops up the day before mine if I'm on a Sunday and T-Top happens to pop up on a Saturday because you already signed that stipulation. So leagues do contracts. That's all I got to say about that part. All right, let's continue.
The person I am, I fuck with Twerk so heavy, I never said nothing to him. I just felt like he about to get both of them checks. He need both of them checks. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want Twerk to be unprepared. That had a lot to do. I'm not gonna say that was the sole reason why I pushed the event back, but that had a lot to do with it. It's like I didn't want niggas battling back to back 2 days in a row. I know the odds of that happening. I mean, the odds of something happening to where it messed that up is very high. You know what I'm saying? So that definitely had like 30-40% of the reason I pushed it back to May 3rd. You know what I'm saying?
He 1000% just made my point. He 1000. I mean, unless there's a contract and unless his contract actually says that, but yet he still is like, yo, Twerk, get your money, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Unless, but he just proved my point. He just proved my point. Twerk is probably one of the most active big name battle rappers in battle rap history. So you got to know that if you book him 3 months out for your event, there's probably 3 or 4 or 5 things that could land before you get to that event. So some of your promo, some of your matchmaking, some of your lead-in, your mystique, all of that. You can't bank on that by booking Nujersey Twork because he battles so frequently. All right. If you have an agreement, not just in contract, but also understand, because it's good to discuss these type of stipulations and then put them on paper, right? So I'm discussing with you, yo, the reason why I'm trying to give you this big bag, $50,000, is because I want to promote this as your return. I want to be able to promote that we haven't seen him in 2026 yet. This first battle of 2020. You find these marketing and promo strategies to make the matchup amplified as much as possible. All right. And for Calicoe to say that he pushed his event back 30 to 40% of the reason is because another event with one of the biggest names on his card landed the day before his. This is what I mean about these type of agreements and these type of contracts, you know. But at the same token, and this is the business I don't know, if you don't have a contract, if you don't have a deposit, or if it's the homie price, like a small back end, then yeah, Cal, you don't say nothing when his card pops up, T-Top's card and the other battler from your card pop up the day before, because you don't even have that type of stronghold business with the battle rapper. So I could see, without knowing the business, there could be a mistake there on Cal's side, but there could be a mistake there on Twerk's side. And this is why when we had the topic about T-Top's first card, right? And Charlie Clips was up there. And I admit, man, that was embarrassing to hear. Like the way he was rapping about, yo, my money this and my money that. And then Geechee was up there rapping, you know, about like, I'm only here, but this stuff. And we had a discussion around the homie price. And I told y'all, I said, these homie prices, everybody wants the smallest amount to pay to come out of their pocket, but there's danger in it. Because if you're working with somebody that feels like, man, I'm just doing a favor, I don't want you on my stage talking about this as a favor, because I'm not getting the A+ game. I'm not getting no promo out of you. And in some cases, you're not even showing up. I don't want this to be a favor. I want this to be an agreement. That's what I want it to be. All right. There's the dangers in paying somebody what they don't really want. You're just picking up a bag. Yeah, I don't want to spend max, but I don't want you to feel like I owe you something. No, I want to sign a contract on a fair agreement. And if it's not the numbers that I feel fair with, I'd rather us not do the battle than you show up and do the homie raps on stage. All right. So I'm seeing the holes in some of this stuff. And I could be wrong still. It's just from hearing Cal's explanations here, and I'm giving you guys the battle rap stuff. And I see some of the comments, and I do appreciate y'all. I see that y'all say sometimes in comments, we like when we see certain battle rappers blog, we get a battle rapper's perspective. We see bloggers perspective, or like an ARP blogs. And he also has like the league owner perspective on things. So I appreciate that y'all appreciate me and my takes. That's going to include that type of experience and those type of opinions. All right, Cal, back on you.
And so let's just zoom past this, because we're not about to make this a long video either. Let's zoom past that. Twerk ended up being on the card. I never said nothing about it, never cared. Long story short, he ended up no-showing both of us. I called Twerk a few days ahead of time, because I started hearing like Twerk was locked up or he was in jail or something. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Marv calling me like, hey man, I heard your boy, you heard from your boy? I'm like, I'm about to tap in with him now. I tapped in with Twerk. He hit me right back. I'm asking Twerk, what airport are you flying out of? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really like to, certain people like Twerk, and even myself, I like booking my flight towards the last minute, because Twerk, Qleen, people like us, we move around a lot. We move around the country a lot. And I knew for a fact I could book everybody's flight because I knew where they was coming from. But niggas like Twerk, I'd be waiting because I don't know where Twerk gonna be at, and Twerk don't know where he gonna be at. We, like I say, we Rolling Stones. We move around a whole bunch. I know how that lifestyle is. That's my lifestyle. I might wake up in London tomorrow. I don't know. That's just how I be. I called Twerk. I say, bro, where you flying from? He said probably either DC or Baltimore, but just give me a second, because I think my homegirl and her girl want to drive. They want to come too. So I say, all right, bet. Just keep me posted. I hit him back the very next day. Now we 2 days from the battle. I'm like, Twerk, what we doing? He was kind of like vaguely texting me. He was texting me slow. It's like to where I'm panicking. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on him. I'm on his ass. Like, hey, nigga, let me know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? He like, all right, gang, give me a second. Just let me put some shit together right quick.
I know the feeling.
I'm trying to figure out which one I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna fly, or if I'm a. Long story short, bro, he didn't come. He walked me down. Me personally, I still don't care. Twerk, like I say, Twerk is my real friend. We're gonna figure out a way to get the battle done.
All right, before I go to the Qleen one, let me give a closing take on that. y'all, man, I swear to God, I just need y'all to get used to me getting back to my roots of being a blogger. That's really what I need y'all to do. Once again, I want to say this ain't no fucking disclaimer for Calicoe or anybody, once again, because I say what the fuck I want to say. I show respect to people, but I'm just not that type of nigga. Like I do what I want, and I try to be respectful. Like this ain't no disclaimer for Cal. I just need y'all to get used to me again as being a blogger and having a voice. And some of y'all be like, damn, he's saying shit that could hurt me, or I don't want to be said, or you then tap in with me. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with a lot of y'all. Then tap in with me. You know what I'm saying? Build a rapport with me or something like that. But I'm here every fucking day. And like I said, I don't owe no fucking disclaimers, but I will continue to reference any situation that I deem relevant while I'm here freestyling my fucking blogs. Like, and even if I want to reference Calicoe and show off, I will. You know what I mean? I ain't walking around disgruntled. I'm one of the best positions in battle rap as far as like he's good. I promise you, I don't give a fuck about that battle anymore. I'm so past and over after I drop my ex. Is he? No, I'm not picking on nobody. I just talk my talk and I say what I want to say and I reference everything that comes to mind. Fuck a disclaimer, yo. Just don't get in my comments like, oh, nah, I don't give a fuck about it. But now that that's done, once again, Calicoe, I can relate. I said all that. Nah, I'm not laughing at what happens to other people's. I ain't on that at all. That's not why I'm laughing. I'm laughing at, is this irony? There is irony in the shit. I want everybody's events to go good. I told you Suge versus Calicoe was the first battle on YouTube drop this year in 2026 that I was interested to even click play on. You know what I'm saying? But him saying you walk me down, like Nujersey Twork walked him down, but that's my friend. Getting walked down. If you use those words, that's you were taken advantage of. Somebody did bad business with you then. Somebody owes you. Somebody fucked you over for your event. Let's use the real words. If he walked you down and you had to be panicking 2 days before and you didn't hear from him and you're almost like, I'm not sure what Nujersey Twork. And then you guys communicate afterwards and it's like, yo, we're going to reschedule. I told y'all how I feel about reschedules. But let me speak about a recent example that happened with RBE. That's a perfect reference. And it just happens to be that. All right. The very last situation that I had just happens to be that. The rescheduling, like when Cal has his bars in his first round versus Suge, and he closes out that big punchline like, someone push it back, and that's what I did. No, you didn't. Calicoe did not push the battle back. Why? Because the battle was never rescheduled. There was never an offer or me picking up or an agreeing to we're going to proceed with this battle. We're going to figure it out after the fact. So that bar is 100% false. And I told the public, it's even clipped here on Battle Rap Dose, and it's probably even captions like that. ARP speaks out about supporting or perpetuating the reschedules. It's here on somewhere a couple weeks back here on Battle Rap Dose on their clips. I stand like that for battle rap right now too, in general. And I would give a similar advice to Calicoe with being a league owner, not necessarily with these specific situations. He do what he wants, but what battlers don't understand is, especially the battlers that are turned into league owners, you know what you're dealing with? You're dealing with a space where battle rappers, they're too comfortable to actually cancel a battle and feel like, especially if they already have deposits, and feel like it's going to be rescheduled. At that point, it'll be made up. It'll be swept under the rug. All the fans on the blog, everybody be happy. I'll get my battle done. I'll be more prepared. By then, I'll get my back. And some people just shouldn't go for that if you feel you were walked down. If you got a call like, yo, somebody passed away or something legitimate, yo, let's reschedule this, man. It's all good. I got your back. I've done that a million times. Didn't speak bad about those people, held them down, still promoted. Even ones that were kind of like, damn, my nigga, like, come on, Clips, you flew out there on my flight, and you're in my hotel right now, and you're out like there. But I hold you down because I believe in you. I believe you're not trying to fuck me over. Like, I got you, Clips. It's all good. And I'm gonna protect your name. If you walk me down, I'm not protecting you, because walking me down is a form of fuck what you got going on. So that's with me. I say, no, I'm not going to put myself on a line for now a Calicoe versus Show Off back end, an A-Ward deposit, which is supposed to come 2 weeks after that, an A-Ward battle, and then an A-Ward back end. So I'm not going to then put myself with these 3 other bags if I feel like the initial deposit bag was disrespected. That's my opinion. That's my position on it. That's how I decided to move for it. Like, no, it's not pushback. It's not. We perpetuate it. We perpetuate it. Like ain't no pushing back with anything that I put my name on. ain't like going forward. Have I done it in the past? Sure, but I see it's being perpetuated and it's being leveraged too much in battle rap, and it hurts us. It hurts us. It's hurting Cal right now. Real talk. In his defense, it's hurting Cal right now. Like, nah, the pushback shit or the reschedule shit or the complete the objective shit, it is unhealthy to battle rap. And if battle rappers believe that that's all they need to do to fix whatever they got going on, whether they're being truthful with us or not, we are continuing to find areas to drag this shit into the mud. Fuck a reschedule. Fuck a reschedule. Don't do it. And last but not least on this part, and then I'm going to move on to the Qleen clip. You'll see. You also gotta let your ego and your pride go, because I never am comfortable with a man walking around with my money ever. Right, and you'll have like somebody like a clown or somebody a groupied out fan or whatever. Somebody try to provoke you or push your buttons. Yeah, such and such battle rapper got your deposit. They punked you, whatever. Nah, 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 nah. Number one, my contracts actually say, because I know the nature of battle rap is so fucking frivolous, the business of it, the reliability of it is so fucking shaky. A lot of these weak links in these chains break every fucking event. That's what we see, right? I know that. My contract actually says if the battle doesn't happen for any circumstance, including circumstances outside of your own, I have the ability to reschedule the battle within a certain time frame, and I own that match, and I own your time gap still. So that sounds like, damn, ARP, but what you said, any circumstance. What if it's my opponent that didn't show up? I'm the one that's here in the building. My opponent is the one that fucked up. Why should I be bound to all of this still? The way I balance that in fairness is saying you get to keep your deposit. That's the way I balance it, because I don't be wanting to try to chase these niggas back for their deposits anyway, because 8 times out of 10, they don't have it. Once they don't have it. Like, I'm being real. I'm being fucking real. So I put that in my contract. So technically, if it's your fault for a reschedule, or it's the other person's fault, technically both of y'all are supposed to keep y'all deposits, and then I have ownership to, if I want to do it forward. But I can also invoke that clause the opposite direction and say, I'm not doing it. Keep your deposit. Have a good day. I told y'all the example of a Briz Rothstein versus Murder Mook negotiation that didn't happen because of that. Mook was the only person I ever dealt with that didn't like that clause. And he said, yo, if Briz, because the anticipation was possibly like, what if another league snatches Briz out of the equation, or gives him a lucrative offer, type of shit that we think allegedly happens in battle rap, or we know allegedly happens in battle rap. And I was just like, yo, then that deposit that I give you, move that big $50,000 deposit. I'm just making numbers up. I'm just joking. You carry that going forward. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll rebook another battle, but my 50 is still a part of that. And Mook was like, no, I'm sitting down, I'm taking my time, I'm writing, I'm doing what I gotta do. And then Briz or my opponent disappears. Nah, fuck that. You got to give me a whole new business situation, a whole new deposit and all that. And I'm like, I'm not mad at you for wanting that. And then you can't be mad at me for not agreeing to it. So we'll split, we'll go different directions. Right. This all lines up with my history, real scenarios that came through RBE, and what I stand on today. And it's been part of my past. So no, ain't no, and Cal shouldn't be in his ego if that's the type of agreements and understands that he has, because it's not street shit, right? It's business shit that we all accept, and then we perpetuate by saying, no, let's rebook. We're doing business, right? Even if it's shitty business, we're doing business, right? So don't get too out of it. Yeah, you feel away as a man, like, yo, I gave that man some money and I didn't get a service. But if you're going to be professional, if you're going to stick to your contract and you have those type of understandings and clauses, you know what you do? You take your L's and you say, that's cool. And then you move accordingly afterwards. Like you say, for example, I'll never work with this person again. I'll never put a red set in this person's pocket again. I won't reschedule this. I won't perpetuate it. I'll make sure I get money back from him, or I get something for free before I work with this person again, like I had to do with Jag. All these type of ways to balance it out and not perpetuate it, or remove yourself from getting robbed or taken advantage of if you continue the relationship. If you don't, then you just say, all right, your loss, or both of our loss, or my loss, whatever. But I'm standing right here. There was no pushback. All right. kind of don't even want to do that. I'm a little exhausted by this shit, and I don't want to get overly frustrated, but kind of even want to do the fucking clean shit right now. For completion, for blogging, and for all supporters of this channel, let's do it. Let's do it, people. I'm gonna probably try to do less interactions here because I don't want to fucking get frustrated, y'all.
Okay. Clean paper. Clean paper, all about the money, green paper. Only I watched Clean Paper. I just watched the Uncle Ra interview. I just watched the 15 Minutes of Fame interview. And I like how Clean Paper say, like, he don't want to throw me under the bus and this, that, and the other, but I don't feel like there's no bus to throw me under. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the only bus that I could be under is him making a super point on his deposit. Okay. I just want to tell the fans, I don't know how that's coming off. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that's coming off to people. Qleen has never got a deposit from me. Let's just say that. No event we ever did, I always paid Qleen on the back end. Now, if Qleen called me before an event, like Qleen to accept the battle with me, like when he battled Rex, he accept the battle. He like, bitch, I'm gonna be there. Like, all right, bet, it's on. Now, Qleen might call me in the midst of him preparing, in the midst of us preparing to go to the event, or the midst of us getting ready for the event. He might just hit me up like, hey, bro, throw me something right quick. Send me something. I'm like, I need some bread right quick. I will just send him some bread. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, Qleen get paid at the end of the shit. This is my man. This is my brother. This is like Qleen get paid when I get paid. Like, I don't get a deposit. I don't get paid up front. I don't get nothing. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So me and Qleen, that's how we've been rocking. That's why I really don't like the fact that, and I told him this. I just talked to Qleen today. I talked to Qleen yesterday. I talked to Qleen the day before yesterday. I talked to Qleen when he left the event. I didn't talk to Qleen the whole time. So I really didn't like him just saying, like, you know, it was really like I don't got to do no homeboy favors. I ain't obligated to do no homeboy favors. It's like, bro, I never asked for no homeboy favors. I've never asked for no homeboy favor. Qleen hit me 3 days before the event. He said, Cal, I know everything, because there was a whole nother situation going on with my event that got nothing to do with none of the rappers, got nothing to do with none of the battlers. So Qleen just hit me on some shit like, yo, Cal, I'm really in the situation. I got shit to do. I need you to take care of me first this time, bro. Because usually, like I say, me and Qleen get paid at the end of the night, at the end of the day, at the end of the week. Like, sometimes I go into battle events, bro, and don't make no money until I put out the footage. So that's just the way it goes sometimes. I take care of Qleen whenever we get the money flowing after we pay everybody. This part
is dope that y'all have that type of relationship. The only reason that it would scare me personally if I was in a business relationship like that is the variables, man. I'm just keeping it real. And I really don't have like a critique, like a negative critique, because that's their thing. That's their understanding. But you could see how it can cause, it's like a ticking time bomb, how it obviously can cause a complication, because then you're going to get Clean Paper on a 50 Minutes of Fame interview saying, I don't owe nobody no money, so ain't no rapping. I'm only obligated to these names that he named. You know, it sounds like his little ones. You know what I'm saying? So it just happened. This is the problem with doing that type of business then. Should never try to do that type of business again. If Cal wants to book Clean Paper, give him a contract, give him a deposit, give him an agreement up front that's understood. And now you have nothing in the wrong on your side, you know? So, and the type of business, for example, where you say like some events, I don't make any money and I don't get some bread back until I start dropping the footage. Do you really want somebody like Clean Paper in a spot like that, knowing that he got to perform? And once again, like, Clean Paper has a reputation, obviously. Who wants Clean Paper in that type of business scenario with his reputation? I don't think it's the smartest agreement, but it causes fallouts. And now they're at odds, you know, almost combating each other in front of us.
Particular time, Qleen hit me and say, look, I got 3 rounds. I'm ready. But Cal, I need you to take care of me first this time. I gave Qleen my word 3 days before the battle. I said, all right, bet. Because I know you wouldn't say that to me if it wasn't serious. I said, bet, Qleen, I got you. I said, I'm gonna take care of you, bro. Matter of fact, the day of the battle came and Qleen was like, I know my nigga. I know when his energy off. I knew his energy wasn't right. I feel like he woke up that morning and just couldn't take care of the things that he wanted to take care of. That's what I felt like. So I offered Qleen money up front. I said, Qleen, I need you to do this battle because I knew all of the no-shows that was happening already that morning. After I realized Merlot wasn't going to make it that day, after I realized Twerk wasn't hitting me back that day, I'm like, oh shit, we got a situation. You know what I'm saying? I told Qleen, look, I can send you, I can call around and get some bread for you right now. Even though I don't got no bread right now, I can call around and get you some bread right now, bro. Because I feel like the way you texted me, it's like it's shaky clean. You know what I'm saying? He was like, damn, I'm about to have to put a cape on again, this, that, and the other, because that's what we call it, like putting on a cape when you want to do, when you got to do some shit that you really don't.
That's another example, though, to me of I mean, once again, respectfully to all league owners, everybody has their different business approaches, but once again, not having an agreed upon, locked in, signed contract and deposit and payout stipulations that's binded, you know, because if Qleen pops up or if any battle rapper pops up on you, you know, the week of, and you have to be in a spot to tell them like, I don't have the bread, I don't have any bread for you right now, but give me a sec, or I can make some phone calls, you know, like, and I don't even know if this is the type of stuff that Cal you really want to put out there, you know, because people are watching, you know, and you don't want to give off any perception like, you know what, let me word this differently because I want to make sure I'm coming off in an advisory type of, and fuck my advice. If you don't like my advice, click off right now. But I want to come off like that. You know, we've seen this many, many times. There was a recent event that was in the Midwest, I believe. And I don't even want to say the league and everything because I don't want to put it out there. I don't think it's big. It's not really in the news headlines like that. But I know because a homie of mine was a part of it. And I heard turnout of it, which is like a bunch of people didn't get paid. And it created real beefs and that type of shit, energies around it. This is like recent. And I don't know how many times we got to see, and leagues, you have to try, at least try to put yourself in a position where you can carry the business that you're on the line for, you know, meaning if that pay-per-view money doesn't come in, or if that door money doesn't come in, you know, are you still going to be able to complete the contracts that you signed if you signed the contract with people that you booked? You know, it's like owning a home. I'm so serious right now, people. I swear to God, I'm trying to give advice. It's like owning a home. You know, they say, you know, when you rent, one of the responsibilities financially of like maintenance and upkeep, that's not on you, but that's a lot of money that you could spend during the year. When you own, because of that, because you might wake up one day and the water heater, you know, then cracked, or the AC unit done burnt out. You know what I'm saying? Or you might have a leak in the wall, or there's no hot water now because of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta handle that and you gotta have the money banked up. And they tell you a certain amount of money you should have in a bank based on what your monthly expenses are and your mortgage is for that to be a homeowner. It's no different than to be a business owner or a league owner. You know, you have to have a certain amount of finances to keep everything on your side in line. And unfortunately, even to keep the people that you work with in line, right? Because if I get a phone call 48 hours before the event and that phone call, and somebody's asking me for some bread, and even if I have a contract and I'm not supposed to give you any more bread, that's not our agreement. But if this happens behind the scenes, if I know that this call right here could possibly alter whether this guy shows up or not this Saturday, you know what I'm saying? In a couple days, he wants he got to take care of something like what Cal is saying. I'm going to send it to him because in 2 days, I'm going to end up giving him the bread anyway. right? I'm gonna send it to him. Now you put me in an uncomfortable position, and I might have to deal with you differently after you realizing you put me in a spot where I had to go into my pocket. But at least I have the ability to go into my pocket. Is the point? I don't have to make calls around, you know? And you have to be conscious of business expenses that pop up and things going awry and things going left when you're a homeowner, when you're a business owner, when you're a league owner, when you have certain type of responsibilities, things pop up, you know? League owners, be prepared for it. We're watching the the nature, the how volatile the shit is of battle rap business. And if you want to get into it, be prepared to deal with all these different curveballs and shit that's gonna come your direction. And you better also know that a lot of those curveballs will be financially based or can be fixed with financing. All right. Like this is our industry. This is our culture. And I had a conversation a couple weeks ago about it. And I was just like, yo, we know it's a circus, but we got to choose whether you want to join in the circus or not. Now, if you choose to still play in the circus, try to maintain your credibility and your integrity along the way as much as possible. You're going to have to leave some of it behind at some points because this bitch will throw you for loops. But let me get off this rant, man. I told you I didn't want to do the clean paper part, but let's go.
I want to do, basically. Last time Qleen battled Rex, his pops had died. He was telling me, like, he had lost his father and shit like that. So he put the cape on and still came and battle Rex. You know what I'm saying? So to that day, he was just telling me, like, man, so I got to come do this shit. All them niggas no showing. You ain't talk to Twerk. You ain't talk to this nigga. You ain't talk to them. I'm like, I ain't talk to these niggas, bro. It's over. Like, it's damn near just like, I feel like I'm about to be the only nigga battling type shit. So Qleen, like, all right, it's good. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pull up or whatever. I'm asking the nigga, like, do you want me to send you some money right now? You know what I'm saying? Qleen just pulled up. When he pulled up, I had to run outside. I heard he was getting into a situation with the security. Mind you, when I come outside, this the same security that just did their event. You know what I'm saying? So when I come outside, I didn't really see no big deal with the security situation. All I seen was them going back and forth. I seen the security going back and forth with somebody that Qleen was with. My focus at the moment is, hey man, chill out, bro. They just didn't know what was going on. We told them to lock this gate and don't let nobody in but the performers. When you pulled up, they didn't know that you was performing. Misunderstanding, not a big deal. Let's get in here. You know what I'm saying? The security say, oh no, it wasn't no big deal then. My bad. Y'all come on. I felt like it was a lot of extra shit happening that I couldn't pay attention to at the time, bro. I got a whole event going on. This shit on the flow for real. I couldn't really waste my time with some petty shit at the door when I know the security is about to say, all right, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Qleen come in the building. At this point, I'm thinking Qleen is gonna rap. It was no doubt in my mind. I felt like we was past the last couple days. He's sending me these long texts and shit about how, man, I gotta do this, gotta do that. And I'm like, bro, all that shit figured out, bro. You already asked me to take care of you first at the end of this battle. I said, okay, it shouldn't be nothing else to talk about. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know Qleen was gone from the event until I was walking on stage to get mic'd up, because he was supposed to be getting mic'd up. Arsenal was mic'd up at the stage.
So what Cal says there, it's a small hint, it said they're having these long text messages and this disparity amongst them days before the event. And it's revolving around money. Hey, you already told me and we already agreed, we already had the discussion. I'm gonna take care of you first, like not like the last times where you got paid when the YouTube battles dropped. I'm just using Cal's words, but they're having disparity about money. And then you definitely, this is where Qleen is saying on 15 Minutes of Fame, where like I don't owe nobody nothing. The homie favors whatever. And Cal's like in his video trying to dispute that, but you could see it in the lead-in from what they're putting out. All right.
We looking for Qleen. Qleen last words to me is, I'm about to go outside, rehearse, and then I'll be ready. He said, how long you gonna give me? I said, I can stall this shit for 40 minutes. I'm about to have Jackpot the Juice and Comic J Will go and do a comedy set for 40 minutes. He said, all right, bet. I'm about to go on the back. I'm about to get my shit together, and then I'm ready. I said, all right, 40 minutes go by. Everybody's looking for Qleen. Nobody know where Qleen is. Qleen, I go outside. I'm looking for Qleen. Arsenal mic'd up, no Qleen. I come back in, I say, shit, fuck it. Come on, Suge, let's do it.
I mean, it is what it is. We're probably over the news coverage in regards to Calicoe versus or Calicoe and Qleen and Calicoe and Twerk and Calicoe and his event. We're probably done with that news cycle now, people. Calicoe put out his video. You don't really expect to see something from Nujersey Twork. And Qleen has his video. All right, we'll move on. Hopefully, there's some things in there that we could all have as takeaways to do a little bit better. But at the same time, everybody does business different. Only if you guys knew behind the scenes. And there's some examples of that here. Everybody does business different. There's some business that I do that some people will still jump out there and say is incorrect. You know what I'm saying? So nobody's perfect. Definitely not me, but I'm moving on. It is what it is.